I'm Paddy Cleary.
I'm Dane Brasher.
And this is
The Marmalade Affair.
On today's show,
Legends of the Marmalade Factory.
Burial.
The fakest news.
You can't fuck a whale.
And an interview with Vidura.
And then, I forget, we were very drunk and very high.
And of course, eat the bake.
Just gloves. So I bet the viewers must be wondering what this setting is here behind us. This warehouse that we're in every week. I mean, it's pretty haunting looking, isn't it? I mean, I don't really know what's over there. I mean, we've never really moved out of this little part here.
It's true, this is our area. This is where we're safe. Yeah. Because there's no solid evidence about how this place came to be.
No one knows really. I mean,
No
have you
one
got?
knows.
Have you got any ideas?
I heard a story was that this factory was built on an old burial ground. Or a burial ground.
A burial.
Or a burial ground.
A burial.
Depending on
Burial.
what the correct pronunciation is.
Burial. Burial.
And the people that were buried here were the worst kinds. They were the kinds that would steal fruit from fruit markets and make black label jam. So they, of course, had the harshest punishment handed down to these sorts of people. A nail through the hand. That's right. Yeah. That's one of the theories. Some people say, though, that this was just the cheapest space that Locked TV could find for us to shoot in. You are a sandal that has been discarded on the train tracks.
You are a disused baked bean can.
You are the drool that hangs from the mouth of a geriatric donkey.
Wow. I mean, I thought we was friends. Well, you are a sock that has been left with holes in it and we kept washing it so the hole got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I put it in on the morning thinking it's a full sock and it's not.
You are a brightly coloured parrot that has been soaked in bleach.
Right, I said.
That's too far.
No, sorry, mate. That's honestly.
All right, welcome to the Fakest News. So, the Fakest News is a game where we have one real headline and one fake headline. Paddy Cleary, with the blindfold, is going to try to guess which is which. Headline number 1. Random tourist arrested for lewd behaviour with a beached whale.
What?
Leave the rest to your imagination.
Yeah, it's
Second headline. Bears in Russian zoo predict Ukrainian election.
On that second one, I did notice that the Ukrainian election is currently going on, isn't it? And
It's very topical.
Well, there's a comedian who's at the top of the race.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, he plays a president in some comedy show, which is quite funny. So that maybe Bears predicting that could be. I mean, that's like the octopus from the World Cup, isn't it? You had the octopus for the World Cup, then you had a cat.
Tell us about the octopus.
He was in a tank, obviously, 'cause he's underwater. Well, he was in the water. Yeah, in a tank. And then they put the flags there and there, I'm assuming all there and there. Yeah. And then he went, yeah, I like this one or that one.
He chose.
He chose correctly for quite a lot.
Do you think the octopus and the bear know each other?
Maybe.
Maybe it's a big whole ring of
Maybe
animals.
they're all Russian and they're in cahoots.
Do they have octopi in Russia?
Well, yeah, not naturally, I suppose. Natively.
The first one was random tourist arrested for lewd behaviour with a beached whale.
Right, okay. So lewd behaviour, beached whale. A whale is pretty big. Beached whales...
Well, lewd behaviour is a pretty general term.
That could be anything. I'm imagining something very wrong.
I bet you are.
I am, because I suppose when they're beached, they're, well, you know, you could probably do anything to them when they're beached, can't you?
This is going down a dark alley.
Well, you the one you said lewd behaviour. That could be anything. You could just be taking some whale oil, or maybe.
I don't think that'd be lewd. Taking some whale depends on what you're using to tap the whale to take the put a tap on it. What I imagine is that there's probably a beach where you're not supposed to be topless, and they were near a beached whale. Why one would sunbathe topless in the vicinity of a beached whale, I don't know.
That is a question.
Maybe it was a photo op.
I've only experienced beached whales on like local rivers, like where I'm from, where they're not meant to be.
Do you know what a whale is, man?
Yeah, I know. No, this is what I'm saying. There's been whales beached on small beaches in like where they shouldn't be, because that's not where they're meant to be, and they get beached.
Yeah, right. Like
Because they
they're
disorient.
beached in the middle of London, so this isn't
Yeah.
correct.
You can't fuck a whale, can you, as a man? That's not going to work, is it? Unless, like, if it's a whale with a blowhole. With a blowhole, maybe, but then the blowhole's quite big as well. I suppose you've got to have quite a chunky. Right, so the second story. I need.
Bears in Russian zoo predict Ukrainian election. What do you want to know?
Right, okay. What now? Recently, like it was this recent
election.
So they're predicting that president's the fake the comedian is like leading the race. Well, okay, so. I think the Bears predicting sounds more legitimate, because not that they actually predicted it, but because actually we've done that quite a lot, you know, with the World Cup and.
Should I tell you how they did it?
Yeah, can you tell me how they did it?
There's
Yeah,
a
that's a good
picture of each of the candidates in a squash, a
butternut squash.
Yeah, and he went to the correct one and gnawed on it, feasted on the squash which represented the correct candidate.
Comedian.
That's how it went.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think the lewd behaviour on a whale, just because I hear so many stories about animals predicting events, and I just, do you know what? I think that's probably one step too far with the bears, because I also don't think bears eat butternut squashes. I mean, I don't know if that's probably basing it on the right thing. I'm going to go with question 1 is correct. So the fakest news is the bear predicting a Ukrainian election. Fakest.
Shock decision there, ladies and
news.
gentlemen. Paddy Cleary, I'm sorry to inform you, that is the incorrect title. First time you've lost it. Was it the blindfold? Fakest news.
Fakest fucking news.
Alrighty, so here we are in the Marmalade Affair studios. We've got Vidura coming to us from a remote location, enjoying the summer already. Let's cross over to him.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Oh, he's there. We've got him.
Look at that, man. Where are you coming to us from?
From a beach in Sri Lanka.
Is it always this warm this time of year?
It's either hot and hotter or wet and wetter.
This is something where I would probably like to be right now.
It looks fantastic.
Very, very jealous. Very
Beautiful
jealous.
stuff.
I must say. Vidura, can you tell us a lot about? Tell us anything about your first gig in comedy?
But the first one was probably the best for a good few months. It went well, people were nice afterwards, and 2 really cute girls came up and asked to take a picture with me. But I've been chasing that dragon ever since. Just
Great. And was that here in Berlin?
Yes, that was at Cosmic Comedy.
Cosmic, yeah. That's the one at Belushi's, isn't it?
That's
Yes.
the one. So you've been running your podcast for how long now?
Now it is episode 41.
Wow. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and it was intermittent in the beginning, so I guess now a little over a year or right around a year.
So what kind of format do you do on that podcast?
Pretty much polar opposite of this. Longest episode, 3.5, 4 hours, which I'm moving away from slowly, having some still very loose segments, but usually it would be a long interview / conversation with whatever guest I have on, and whereas now adding in a current event section, so at least there's something for a wider audience than just the comedy scene. A comedic take on current events will make it a little more for people that aren't in the Berlin comedy scene, because that's about 150 total audience members.
Sure. And you've nearly interviewed all of them. You've gone through a third of them in that case.
Just talking shit, and now I added at least some part after that, because I found when you're talking about someone's life, it gets very serious very quickly, or even sort of larger issues. Also, it's difficult to be silly, whereas current events much easier to be silly.
Congratulations on the popular vote, was it?
Yes.
Popular vote.
That's it. The People's Comedian.
I'm happy. Some would say I'm the Muhammad Ali of comedy. this
People champ.
someone would be Gino, but
So
Let's get into the integration
Yes.
question.
So-
See how nervous he got there?
I know.
Oh, integration.
As we said before, we are sponsored by Neukölln Burger Ramp, so it's very important, Vidura. And the first question is, with or without bubbles?
with.
With.
Oh, straight off the
Cold.
bat there.
Like that.
Thought
like
that one through.
Very good.
He knows about his bubbles.
Right, for the second question, Dave.
Second question, Vidura. Schafkräuter Knoblauch.
Oh, alles.
Yeah,
Yes.
easy.
Took me a second. That's
Think
my
about it.
relationship with German. There's a 3 to 5 second processing time.
So, the third question,
Third question.
I think it's for me, isn't it?
It is.
Have you ever been caught without a ticket?
Yes,
Oh.
multiple times.
Vidura, are you ready to come into the studio and eat the bag with us?
I hope so.
Right, welcome to Eat the Bag. Today's contender is Vidura. Are you ready to eat the bag tonight? We'll give you the rules. Should we give you the rules beforehand? That might make sense. So, you cannot use your hands. You need to lift the bag with your mouth. You cannot go on your knees. And there's no shots below the belt, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So you have 1 minute to complete this task. Are you ready? He is ready. So,
Right, let's
should we
face
have the
off.
contenders? So, in the red corner, weighing at a total of 80 grams, the bag. In the blue corner, weighing in at a total of, I'm guessing, about 70 kilos, Vidura! Just gloves. Are we ready to go? 3, 2, 1, go! First.
Oh, that's a nice one right
That is very good. That is
there.
very good. Clean
Textbook
down there.
lift right there.
See, we
Oh,
can
we've got lost
compensate
a
the
bit
ribs.
there, but we've got an
That's
even-
fine, that's fine.
We've got an
Ooh,
even-
this-
Oh, look at this. Cool, calm, and collected
Absolutely
right
great.
there.
The technique is unbelievable. Technique is the cleanest thing
He's
we've
got this, dare I say,
The jeans are
in
going
the
up.
bag.
Oh, let's keep an eye on that.
There we go, he's stretching out. Oh, here we go.
No, he's moving, he's moving.
He's going for another angle. He's coming down. It was
He's
such a
trying
strong
all different
start.
options.
Such a strong start. We've got another 25 seconds to get that. We've got the
Oh,
right idea there.
oh,
That's
he's got it,
beautifully
yes,
done.
yes,
Beautifully
yes,
done.
yes.
How's he going to get
Going
it
clean
down?
down. So,
Oh, look at that.
We're going to
Clean.
cut the back there. So
That's
he's
beautiful.
on the last
Lost
section.
a bit of the
We
middle
have
there.
15 seconds
We've got a
left.
tag on the end.
15 seconds.
He's
Can
going
he
for
do
the
it?
tag.
Can he do
Can he
it?
do it?
Let's keep an eye on these.
10.
Oh, is he going to get it?
6.
Ah,
He's
that's
down. He's down.
He's down and
2, 1,
And he's
down,
down.
ladies and gentlemen. It was a solid effort. A solid effort.
Very
by
good
Vidura
effort.
Rajapaksa. The bag has survived another round.
So, Vidura, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to tell us about coming up?
Yes, if you guys like my stuff, you can find me at vidurarajapaksa.com, and that has links to everything. And if that's too much to remember, there is livefromthesandbox.com that will redirect to my website as well. Apart from that, I co-host the Stand Up in Berlin showcase. Next show is April 16th. I will also be opening for Natasha Pearl Hansen at Prachtwerk in Berlin, April 26th, and for Chris DiStefano in the Soho Theatre in London on June 24th and 25th.
Well, thank you very much once
Thank
again for coming on the show.
Thank
And,
you.
well, this was the Marmalade Affair. He was Vidura.
Let's
Goodbye.
wave like wankers. I'm out of grapes.
What do you make out of grapes? Wine.
Wine.
Wine. It's not about wine. Nothing to do with wine.
Not about wine.